What's up, Rip Nation? Gotti Jr. here. At the end of the intro music, when it starts to fade out, you're going to hear Joel Johnson. And Joel's talking about his 1987 World Championship run when he took his Kyosho Ultima up against the RC10s. I probably lost about 2 to 3 minutes at the very beginning of this conversation. The audio was just very distorted, unclear. So again, right after the intro music, I'm gonna pick up right where it starts getting clear for us. And I just wanted to give you a heads up on what Joel was talking about. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. It was a very fun show to do. Again, I want to thank Mark Pavidis and Matt Francis and Joel Johnson for being on it.
But you had to go out and beat the Associated guys if you wanted to win, and we, I don't know, that was, I think, probably one of the first races where the tire advantage came into play, because we had Kyosho, we had all different compounds of tires, which at the time I don't think people really even thought of, but Kyosho had brought some tires that were much softer than what they sold, and it was a track with 3 different surfaces that nobody had ever seen before in the U.S. And it's like one part of it was like rock hard dirt, then there was cement, then there was dirt with oil on it, and it was just a mishmash of It was an original multi-surface track, I guess, for England. And the Ultima really worked well, and we. But obviously, you see the cars worked well, but we also had a tire advantage there for sure. I would have to think. So, but it was fun going out and beating those guys. They were scratching their head the whole time, looking at. I never really worked on my car much. I mean, I ran good. Yeah, I don't rebuild shocks, or I'm like, hey, the thing's running fine. Why would I want to touch it? And I think I was pitting next to Cliff Lett, and I remember him just looking over like, why isn't that guy working on his car, and why is he going fast?
It ain't broke.
That's awesome.
So that was kind of fun to go over and do that. And luckily, the track had very few bumps. It had bumps, but not many jumps, and that's my style of off-road, being an on-road guy. So it was the perfect storm, I guess, in a way. So, the RC10 is certainly the icon two-wheel drive. I mean, you got the Ultima, and then of course the Losi cars, but. Back then, that was it. Those two cars.
So what do you think of the re-release of the RC10?
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot about it. Actually, I was talking to Michael Glass about it. We saw him at the mountain bike race we do on Tuesday nights, and last Tuesday, and so I haven't seen a lot. I think it's cool they're doing it. I mean, maybe for the collectors it kind of stinks, but I think it's kind of fun to see the retro stuff come out. I think it gives people an idea to see what we were using back when this all started, and give some perspective on how good the equipment is now, and how much easier I think it is to play with your RC car, and what a better user experience in a way. I mean, those all the cars on the market went together okay, but I mean, I know everything did need a little dremeling, every kit, and they were the way we were abusing cars in California, I think with these big jumps and everything, it really, would, for the average guy, when you'd build a kit, you'd have to go out and, go put some aftermarket stuff on it to make it really last, and I think the Associate car came out, and of course there was a lot of aftermarket for it, but that was a car that was really strong and went out and, would hold up. I know that original tranny was a little bit of a mess. I'm sure the guys Matt and those guys know how much of a pain that was to build. But
we just watched the Winning Edge video and tuned them in, so we were set.
Yes, I mean, I know Halsey. They had a whole business building those trannies for every team guy. I think on the on the planet. But that's I think it's cool they're coming out with them. I think they are using that 6-gear tranny from what I heard, and that's even more fun. I think if people get an idea of like how complicated that was compared to the 3 gears we have now. So, but it's cool. I like it. I think it, like I said, I think it gives people a perspective on where we were and how far it's come. So,
are you getting one?
am I getting one? No, I don't have plans yet. No, maybe a re-release of the Ultima I would probably grab. But,
yeah.
But I know I bet one will end up in our hands here somehow. I think, considering we have Mark in our office, so I think it'd be kind of fun to see what a brand new one built up looks like. So, but so that's my take on that. And I think it was pretty funny seeing that buggy at the RCX, the Halsey kind of the full size buggy somebody painted up, and versus that ad, the famous ad with him standing next to the RC10, which is awesome. So, you guys couldn't get a hold of Jay to get some perspective? I can't imagine he wouldn't join the radio impound.
No content.
Yeah, we gotta get a hold of Halsey.
Whoa, Jason, you're in a soup can.
Yeah, you gotta let him out of the closet back there.
Get me out of the closet.
Well, he's a future guest of the show.
Yeah, it'd be cool because that they were there at the beginning. Too bad we can't get Gil. He's got his daughter's graduation today. Otherwise, I'd try to call him and get him up on talk about it because he was obviously there at the beginning too with this thing. So.
I'm sure you can call him right now. He won't mind.
Oh yeah, maybe you can get on his cell phone during the ceremony or something.
He's a hard man to get a hold of.
Yes, he's just back from China, so he's tough.
Okay, now before Joel Johnson goes, I got to give each one of you a lightsaber, and I want you two to battle it out for about 15 to 20 seconds to see who can slice each other up. Since this is AKA
Nice.
against Jay.
Lightsabers.
Yeah, this is AKA against J Concepts.
I assume the sound effects are to follow. Is that what you guys have all these soundboards?
We don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? I'm gonna hand you the real lightsabers here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Are we
I got mine early and fired it up.
Jason, all right. All right, Jason has his lightsaber. Oh, wait, Jason, you have the red or blue one?
I got the blue one.
I have the red one.
That's perfect, AKA red.
There you go. Let me put my robe on. Hold on, my cape and hood.
Put on that Kyosho jacket.
Yeah, let me get my Kyosho jacket. It's impervious to lightsaber strikes.
All right. You got that on?
I'm ready.
Okay, before we let Joel go, and we're going to have a little battle here between AKA and J Concepts. A lightsaber battle for the... See who comes out on top here. You guys ready? Fire him up.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Come on, Jason.
How come Jason's lightsaber is so small?
Oh, I already got his knee.
Nice move, Joel.
Oh.
Sweep the leg.
Right across the knees, I got him.
Ah, there it was. I've been kneecapped.
Yeah, you put your hand on my head, and I got you right in the knee.
Yeah, that was a nice... I thought Joel was putting a good move on there, and then Jason just totally got him.
Kneecapped me. Well,
So
that's the way it
J
goes.
Concepts comes out on top.
Well, we'll have to, once I regenerate my lower legs, I'll have to come back on for a rematch.
Hope that doesn't affect the mountain biking career.
Well, I'm going to have to lower my seat, but other than that, I think I'll be all right.
I'll just trade bikes with you.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Joel, for participating in that battle.
It is always fun to be on the Radio Impound. You never know what you're going to run into.
Well, we'll have you on again. Our 1-year anniversary show is coming up.
Oh, excellent. All right, well, there you go.
On the 25th, so mark your calendar.
All right, let me see what Mark's schedule looks like. See if
Well, you
can
guys
do it.
have a bike race that day. I was already told that, but
Well,
I was told I have like 3 minutes with
Maybe
you.
I can bring a Bluetooth and you can catch me on the trail.
Yeah, there we go. I know.
Beautiful.
Hold on, Mark. I'm sending it over. Sending the radio impound over. All right, here. Hold on. Let's see.
All
if
right,
we can,
go
we can make
heal
this
those
happen.
wounds, Joel.
I am. Yes, I'm heading right to the emergency room right now. I'm gonna have Greg drive me.
There we go. Not only is AKA losing the tire war, they lost the lightsaber battle war. Oh, I'm kidding, Joel.
Damn.
I'm
All
kidding.
right.
I'm kidding.
2 low blows, one in the knees and one just above it. All right. Hold on, guys.
Thanks, Joel.
You're going to hear some wonderful music while
All right.
enjoy this music
Thanks,
while I
buddy.
transfer you. Hold on.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Let's start this thing up. We just had a cool lightsaber battle between Joel Johnson and Jason Ruona.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was AKA against J Concepts, and J Concepts won.
I chopped him at the knees, Mark.
Typical move.
All right, you guys, your time is valuable. We got Matt Francis here, Jason Ruona, Mark Pavidis, Kirby Hand. Go ahead, Kirby.
All right, Radio Impound podcast, Rip Nation. We got a special treat for you this week. We got a studio full of all-stars, world all-stars right here with us. Besides Gotti Jr. and Kay Hand, we got Jason Ruona, Matt Francis, Mark Pavidis. So welcome to the show, guys. It's a special RC10 episode.
Thank you.
This should be fun.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome to the roundtable discussion.
Hey, is Obama on the phone too? He's listening, right? Obama.
That's right. He's always listening.
Yeah, everybody's listening. This is
Yeah.
worldwide.
So keep it clean. All right, everybody here heard the news of the re-release of the RC10. And I'm excited because I never was able to get one back in '85 because I didn't have enough money for it.
So you're probably the only one in this interview that never ran an RC10?
I haven't. I never ran an RC10, like the original RC10.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, we gathered these group of legends up to discuss. They joined our roundtable to discuss the RC10. So what do you guys think? The re-release was announced at RCX.
All the eBay collectors really love that release, I'm sure.
That was my first thoughts as well. I got a buddy who collects a lot of the stuff. He's got, I don't know, who knows how many cars, but that's the first thing I said to him when he told me about it. I go, well, what's that do to your collection? He goes, well, technically it won't because they're going to make enough changes to it to where the original stuff will still be known, and the new stuff will be just different enough to so the collectors still have the real stuff.
Good news for the collectors.
Yeah. I'm not going to get one, but that's beside the point.
Oh, you're not? That's what I was going to ask you. You're not going to get one, huh?
No. I retired. Officially.
How about you, Mark? Are you going to get one?
Am I going to get one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. Just because. Why not?
Yeah. What do you remember most about that particular car?
I have one at my parents' house still. It's up in the attic. It's got holes drilled in it, the short arms, the whole cut down chassis. It's up in the attic collecting dust.
Oh man.
We need to get hold of that and sell it on eBay.
Yeah, somewhere up there though I have box of parts and all that stuff. And I have the prototype, one of the machined tranny cases that Curtis Hussing's made with the stealth transmission. It's all hand machined and stuff.
That would go for big money.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding.
Well, now that they re-released the stealth transmission, it's probably half the price.
No, it's still original, man. The hand machine stuff is got to bring in top dollar.
Yeah. So, but I have a bunch of that stuff at my parents' house.
You should put a header card on it and call it Mark's Parts.
One of one.
That's one of one.
Captain America's stealth tranny.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the cool things that I have still at my at the house there. And
That's
then at
cool.
my house, I have the prototype RC10T truck.
Ooh.
That's cool. Is that the one you won the race with, the Pomona?
At Pomona, yeah.
Didn't you see you ran that not long ago? A few years ago, I guess.
Yeah, last week, club race. So, yeah. So I have a bunch of old stuff at home.
Would that happen to be the truck that I had in that old school radio control car action I showed you at the Nationals? Was that the truck?
Yeah, with the real square body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's trucks. We talk about the buggy.
So, Mark, one thing that I told these guys a second ago was that was the last car that was fully customizable as far as, like, the polishing of parts and the anodizing and the dyeing of the different parts using RIT dye. And, you know, you can make that car just customized and as personalized as you'd want.
Oh, yeah, it'd take weeks. I remembered before we were going to Florida, Jason telling me he spent like 3 weeks building this car, and they had, remember at the end of the straightaway, they had the big, you know, telephone pole, and he ran his car into it and just talked with the chassis. 3 weeks worth of work gone.
Yeah, like, I forget we were having like a drag race at a practice day, and the way the log was set up, like someone hit me and I went wide and went straight into the thing and destroyed the car. It's gonna be my Winter Champs car. Anyway.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I think at that time more aftermarket companies, I mean, survived off of the RC10 than any other car. You know, it was kind of like the early day T-Max of our industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody tells me the hot tricks. You had to have everything hot trick.
Yeah, I mean, first speed control I got, you know, I bought first I was on the waiting list for it, and then, you know, it comes with the wiper arm speed control. You're like, oh, this is so cool. It's, you know, man, the thing goes back and forth. It has reverse, you know, and then, you know, people tell you to bring your eraser, and you use your eraser on the resistor board there to clean it up so it's got good contact, and then Hot Trick was the first one that made like a really cool speed control. So that was my first speed control to get rid of the resistor speed control.
Where did you race in those days, Mark? What was the name of the track?
Hot Tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where like a lot of those videos were done with Halsey and all that stuff.
Yeah, Halsey. Well, that's back in those videos with Halsey, you know, jumping around and this and that. That was done at RCH, which was a few years after Hot Tracks.
Right.
Hot Tracks was like the very first indoor track out here in Southern California, which was in Huntington Beach. Not too far from where OCRC is now, that all the races go to.
Where did you race your car at, Matt, when you had it?
We didn't have an indoor track at the time, not till around 89, I think it was. We got an indoor track, but we raced at a couple outdoor tracks by us, and actually there was one indoor track up in Marysville called Sroka's, I think it was, that John Anderson used to race at, Rick Vivo.
Right.
Yeah, so those are some of the all-stars from Sacramento area. And then down in the Bay Area, there was like Hobby Haven, Innovations, RC, a bunch of stuff down in the Bay Area. But all the Sacramento stuff, me personally, I raced just this little outdoor track. And it was a club in Sacramento called Capital Auto Racers that everybody raced at. And everybody showed up to the track early and rake all the loam back onto the track because we thought that was cool, with rooster tails and stuff. Big difference than from today's market, or today's racing. But yeah, good times, that's for sure.
Matt, we had a guy here on Facebook, Darren Giblin. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Do you know Darren?
Yeah, he's race with him.
Okay. He sent a, we announced that you're going to be on the show. He said Matt and his brother Mark took that car to a new level back in 1990 when they milled out the sides and the bottom of the chassis. No one could catch them at Sack Mini Wheels.
Yeah, that was the mini wheels. That was the indoor stuff. And, we went down, Mark and I, my brother Mark and I used to go down to LA, and I raced at Hot Tracks a couple times in RCH, and this was before we were fast. I mean, I remember Mark Pavidis and Jay Halsey and Cliff Lett were all there racing, and, they're in, of course, battling for the win and stuff, or like a Wednesday or a Thursday night club race or whatever it was. And, I mean, they were like legends in our eyes, We were just that into it, and we were watching them race, and, they'd walk by in the pits, and here I am, like, 13 years old, thinking, man, these guys are cool, They're leading. There's Jay Halsey, he's in one of them all magazine ads, and it was cool to see. Southern California operated on a completely different level than anywhere else in the U.S. And to go down there was just and see those guys, the originators of the car. That was it was just a different time. I mean, it was really cool to watch that and to see that and be part of it.
So, he made it sound like you guys were the first ones to do all that to the chassis and stuff?
No, I mean, we copied all the stuff that the guys did in Southern California.
Okay.
We did, whenever Mark and I would go down there, my brother Mark and I would go down to LA, and we'd see all the things that they did. Then we took it back up to Northern California, and then we were the first ones to have it up here. So we definitely copied what Jay and Cliff and Mark Pavidis were doing down in Southern California. So we didn't have, it was just a whole different level. All those guys were so much better than anywhere else in the country, it seemed like. And at the time, to us anyway, or from Northern California. So we just kind of mimicked what they did and copied what they did, and and then kind of put our own little flair to it and that kind of stuff. So
cool.
It was cool seeing the styles they created and then copying them. But yeah,
Jason,
91 was that was Sacramento Mini Wheels. That was our indoor track, our first indoor track.
Jason, where did you? Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I'd say probably the race I remember the most with the RC10 is probably the 88 Nationals in Antioch with like 900 entries, and it went to like a double E or F main.
Yeah.
And won the modified D main with it, so I was pretty happy.
I won the modified U main.
Oh, snap.
Oh, nice.
U as in under.
Wow.
You were telling me once you have a video of you crashing 27 times.
22 times I crashed in one 4-minute race.
Wow.
I got it on video. I still have that video today.
I have
Awesome.
a video that goes way back with my dad. He had the camcorder where he had the camera with the cord that went to the box that did the videotaping from a race at Hot Tracks with my RC10.
Nice.
I think I was 15, 14.
Do you remember the first time you beat Jay Halsey, Mark?
Not Jay Halsey, but like the first big win.
Hold on, guys.
There was a series race at Hot Tracks that they had going on where all those guys would race, and Kyle Reed was like the fast kid at the time, and so they had a series, and I beat Kyle Reed in the series, and whoever won the series got a RC10 kit.
Oh,
So
nice.
so I won the series, and literally the next day, my family, we went camping. So I took the RC10 kit with me. And back then, when you break in that transmission, you got to like grind, because it's a 6-gear transmission. You got to modify the center plate to get the gear mesh right, and then jam toothpaste in there and run it in at a slow RPM. And, these are all tips that Jay Halsey, how to get your RC10 gearbox to work good, and so that's what I did, jam toothpaste in there, close it up, turn it on low, and let it run in for like an hour, take it apart, clean it, put it back together.
Wow.
Sounds like a fun time camping.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Damn, that's dedication right there.
So
You know-
was the tranny dialed after that?
Oh yeah, it was dialed. Toothpaste has that perfect grit, breaks it
Yeah.
in.
What brand toothpaste did you use? Do you remember that?
It was Crest whitening.
Okay.
Yeah.
For you guys that are gonna build the kit.
There you go.
Re-release. There you go. Crest whitening toothpaste.
I'm not even going to open the kit box without having the toothpaste.
Clean mint.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the Yokomo days, your Yokomo will come with a Dremel. RC10 comes with a bag of toothpaste.
And a Dremel.
And a Dremel.
In the machine shop.
I remember Matt had that really cool piece for his servo, aluminum machine servo piece on his RC10.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that part?
I do. Yeah, we had this guy in Stockton, California, that was making some parts using machinist, and he was doing a lot of work for Rick Velo at the time. And my brother Mark and I got set up with him, and he was making a bunch of parts for us and servo braces, and he was the one that was milling our chassis or drilling our chassis, and he's the one that actually engraved my car from '92 that we took to the '92 Nationals in Texas. That I had red anodized. He engraved my name on the side and did all the machine work on that car, and that was, pretty cool looking. I wish I still had that chassis.
I remember a lot of your cars, and then was it Mark that first did the T-back chassis in the back? Who did that first?
The what?
Yeah. Cut in the back, because it had the three slots in the back. You narrow it down to one.
That's right. I remember that.
The T-back.
See, there are kinds of things you can't do on cars today.
Nope.
It's like it's not there. The option's not there.
Yeah.
I guess which is actually a good thing, but
Well, now everyone wants to buy a car and take it to the track, open the box, and be able to win with it.
For $200.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember one time I had to have them because Mark had the spring retainers for the top with the set screw in them. There was one national where Mark pulled them out of the old parts or something from Associated, and he polished up his shock collars with the set screw in it. And it'd leave a mark in the shock body, but as long as you kept your ride height the same, you couldn't see it. And
not like you ever changed the setup on that car anyway.
Yeah. Still the same.
I remember Mark's your rear body mount spacer was a bearing. Do you remember using the big flange bearings for your body mount?
4x3/8 rear hub bearing.
Yeah.
RC500, I think is.
Yeah. Mark would only use the ones that were $20 a pair.
Yeah.
What's the part number, Mark?
I don't know. They just come in a tube.
Hey, you remember when we went to the on-road world and you took a whole tube of those RC500 bearings?
Well, you needed them.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that same race. A cat came into our room and someone spray painted the cat. Whole different story and race.
Yeah, we transitioned from the RC10 to on-road now.
Yeah, straight to the world.
What was the first worlds you guys went to, you and Matt?
The first I was gonna go. I was working part-time at Associated when they had the worlds in Australia.
Right.
But I didn't have the money to go, so I stayed back. And actually, for that race, helped build some of the cars that went to that race.
Okay.
Because back in the day, well, as you know, Jason, when you worked there, you kind of get everyone's cars ready for the worlds, and that was always a big thing. when everyone showed up to the race, they got handed a car that was like full race, just drop your radio in pretty much.
Yeah, I remember I built the B2 and that Matt won the world with, but he said he had to rebuild the whole thing because he didn't like it.
That's because you work too slow.
I remember we got to Japan and Matt was like, yeah, my shocks are all jacked up. Like, sorry. But
the big joke, guys, is when Jason and I were working there at Associated, and Jason came out for the summer, and he was working there, and he asked Gene if he could come on as I think more of a full-time position, right, Jason?
Yep.
So Jason went up to Gene and asked Gene, "Hey, Gene, do you have anything available?" And I'm really dedicated to all this. It's something I want to do. Gene pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, Jason, look." He's kind of pulling on his shirt. He's like, "Jason, you just work too slow."
And that's pretty true. I remember packaging those Nova batteries in the back and having to put heat shrink on them, and I'm just thinking, I was lining those things up perfect. So, man, those packages look perfect.
Yeah. There are probably still some out there that says packaged by, JR.
Packaged by JR.
And if you got one, send us a picture.
Did you package body clips as well?
No, I never did any body clips.
Yeah.
I did, I
soldered brushes.
I did slotted brushes, packaged some batteries, soldered the weld on the motor armature, and then Mark and I went to SoCal.
Yeah.
So, RC10.
Yeah.
We gotta get back on topic.
Well, that's all right. Actually, Mark was giving us a tip about the toothpaste there, and we had a question from Jacob Holder. Any tips from you guys on building the new kit?
Does the new kit come with the 6-gear transmission?
Yes.
It supposedly does, yeah.
Okay. So I would say that center aluminum stamp piece, unless they made a 2013 version where the gear mesh is right, is probably one of the single things that you may want to address first on that kit.
Well, who was just talking earlier about they had to rebuild the whole car? Was that you, Jason?
I had to rebuild. You had to rebuild the car I built for you.
No. The new RC10.
Supposedly, I heard it's a whole new car. Like, they couldn't use any of the old molds. They had to build a whole new car.
So I'm sure that issue is addressed using today's technology and today's tolerances or whatever.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah, I remember it came with, it had the 2 lower gears and then the 2 center gears, right? And then the 2 center gears, the cool factory part was they had some harder material black gears, So
I remember that.
When Roger or Cliff handed you these black gears, you're like, "Whoa, these are cool." No one else has these black 6-gear diff gears.
And then explain to the guys that might be building this thing where the flipper is on this car, or not the flipper, but where is the flipper?
The slipper is
the slipper's the diff.
And the diff and where the slipper, well, for everyone that's new, that's where the diff is. It's up in the spur gear.
Right. So when you're adjusting that nut, you're adjusting the diff, not the slipper.
Technically both.
Picture reference.
Right here.
Someone at a bus station?
Not me.
Matt, you're getting your hair cut, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I heard.
I am too. That's weird.
Oh, sweet. I'm laying in bed right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no comment.
So Matt mentioned, that's what I was thinking. I'm sure they addressed a lot of these issues with the newer kit. I'm interested in seeing a lot, the new kit and see what it's like. So
Heck yeah.
I I have nothing to compare it to because I never was able to get the original RC10 kit.
Yeah, I think if I get one, I'm going to build it to the orange chassis and just call it good.
Yeah, and put it on the shelf, right?
Yeah, be done with it.
Yeah, I just kind of use it as a I don't know, display piece or something like that.
Right.
I bet you a lot of people are going to do that.
Yeah, Jason threw up a question on Facebook about that. Are you going to put it on the shelf or are you going to race it? And a lot of people are in there like, oh, I want to race it, and they're all excited. And I just have a feeling that it's going to be like they're going to run that thing, and no disrespect to the RC10, but they're, especially the newer generation, they're going to go from a 22 or an associated B4 and then run an RC10 original, and they're going to be like, oh, crap. Like, I think they're going to run it one or two times, and then, it's going to end up on the shelf.
Shelf weapon.
Well, what we're going to do here in Florida is we're going to try to have an RC10 class and just see what happens. And just see if people get into it and they want to do it and kind of see where it goes from there. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what to think if it's going to become popular. It's just, kind of a 5-6 entry thing, kind of a novelty thing. But, I thought we'd give people a shot at it and see if they're going to give it a try and see what the car will do out there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool if that class, if it did go, that, you guys leave it as a stock class, no aftermarket this and that, and
yes.
keep it what it truly is,
The 6 gear, no stealth, right?
Yeah, all 6.
Yeah.
All 6.
Because they're talking about making aftermarket parts for it, and Kirby and I were discussing it over the week, and we were just kind of like, really? Like, just keep that thing original, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, I think people are going to race their B4s and low-C cars and then go to this, and, it's a nostalgic piece. It's not a performance car anymore, where back in the day it was, it was the best of the best. But I think that's what appeals to so many people is the history behind that, and, to go out there and wider arms and all that stuff for it. Why not just buy the B4?
Yeah. I mean, I've had people, say that type of thing already. They're, I think guys want to put big bores on it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It defeats the whole purpose.
Okay, if you're going to do that, just go for the real deal. What I'm wondering is, what motor is that thing going to be able to handle?
I thought the same thing too. Yep.
Yeah, they're going to have to put some kind of a brushless in it, right? They can't put a brushed motor in that thing.
It's okay. The one thing I wanted to kind of touch on that car is, I guess the significance that I look at when I look at that car now is how much things have changed, but not really. When you look at how many parts of that car are actually the design characteristics are, carried over to the car we run today, which is the kick up, the way the whole car is laid out, servo, bell crank, 30 degrees of kick up, caster blocks, rear hub carriers, toe in versus the inside versus the outside. It just seems like for as far along as we came in that business, at the same time, it's all based off of that car. Which I think is probably the most impressive part about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, everything we've done, all the design changes, everything, it realistically is the same thing. It's the same layout. Different angles, different lengths, different dimensions, but it's the identical layout. The way the shot, everything, it's all the same.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they've determined over time there was some magic to where the shocks were positioned on that car, and you got to really hand it to Roger, who I guess designed the whole thing, and he kind of knew what he was doing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be the first one to offer the Masami World Shock Tower with the shocks in the back. That's what I'm gonna do.
You better offer the whole car.
In 1987, I made a mid-engine RC10. I have a picture of it.
What? Oh,
Yep.
we gotta get that.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, we need that photo bad now.
I had a Parma Chenoweth body on it. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, we gotta see that because there's a lot of people out there claiming they had the mid-motor car before somebody else. So we can put that on Matt's shoulders now.
Yep, I have it from '87. I don't know exactly what month, but it was. I think we're all in heavy jackets, so it's either early '87 or late '87. Obviously not in the summer. We wouldn't be wearing jackets, but I got to see if I can find that picture.
How'd that work out for you?
Throwback Thursday.
Yes.
That would be perfect.
Because that was one thing really cool about that 6-year transmission is you could swap it to either. You could swap the motor mount to either side, just flip it around, drill a couple holes in the bottom of the chassis, and boom, it mounts right up. We made, you know, where the rear bulkhead comes together, the chassis and mounts to the top of the rear bulkhead. We did a side cut on the chassis, and then bent those in, and that actually held the rear motor mount, if I'm correct. Can't remember exactly. I mean, granted, it was, what is that, 26 years ago? Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, wow. That was a long time ago.
You just realized that, huh?
That puts it
I
in
just realized that, yeah. I'm like, I'm almost 40, carried in one, yeah. That was a long time ago. So, yeah, let me see if I can find that picture.
That'd be great, man.
That would be cool.
Text it to me, buddy.
I'll do so.
So we're kind of jumping around, but
Yeah.
But Mark, tell us about your trip. I remember this race. One of them was you went to Japan for a world's warm-up with the RC10. And then you also, the last time you ran the RC10.
Oh, let's see, World's warm-up. Was that? That was 95. I think that was the B2.
Yeah, that was 95. We didn't take the B2 to the warm-up race, though, did we?
No, I think you're right. Yeah, so I was out to, I remember, so we showed up there. That's right. You're right, Jason. We showed up there, and then, of course, it's Masami's home track. Everyone's out to lunch because no one has the perfect run tires or sauce or anything else like that. So Masami comes over after Gene had asked him if we could try some of his tires. And he goes, no problem, as long as you give them back. So he let me try them. I don't think I was PQ, but I ended up winning the warm-up. And, of course, I had to give the tires right back to Masami. But, yeah, that was the last big international race for me with RC10. And then the last race for the RC10 for me was Greg will appreciate this. Greg's here. Was up at Scott Brown's track. Kind of the same thing. We all went up there, me, Greg, Brian, and we were racing, and you needed special tire sauce, and Scott Brown, who was a Losi guy, gave me some of the tire sauce, and ended up winning that race. Thanks to Scott Brown.
The sauce.
The part I remember about the pictures when you ran that warm-up is I remember you telling me the story of Masami giving you these tires. So what's weird is back then no internet, no Facebook, but I remember seeing the pictures, and it's the first time he saw Mark's car with like yellow wheels on the front and like white or black. It's got like Masami's tires on it, front and rear, so they're all mismatched in colors and just looks all screwed up.
Yeah.
But
and had Japanese writing on the side of them.
Yeah, so you knew right away. You're like, when I saw that picture, I'm like, oh, those aren't his tires.
Yeah.
Like, something's going on here. Is that the first time that you saw Hara?
At the warm-up, I don't remember. Of course, at the Worlds, yeah, because he was extremely drunk, little kid running around, throwing up all over the place. But, yeah, at the Worlds, as soon as he gave me those tires, or at the warm-up, when he gave me those tires, it was like driving a drift car to on-road.
Yeah, I don't remember the warm-up race and what tires we used before the Yokomo tires.
I don't
What were we using? X patterns?
Yeah.
Jam and J step pins.
Yeah, step pins.
They were the hot ticket. I remember them.
Yeah, I think, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, maybe VP Pro makes those now. I'm not sure. Or RB, I'm one of the two.
That's funny.
Hey guys, we got a question from a listener here. Let me pull up his name quick. I don't know if you guys heard anything about it. Maybe Jason has. Just lost his name. But he was asking about the MIP four-wheel drive kit. Will that be released for this car that you guys know of? Because it was at RCX, correct?
Probably.
The MIP four-wheel drive kit?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Was that the chain drive one or the speedometer cable one?
I think it was it looked like a belt.
Okay, so yeah, he did the belt, but the original one actually had like this shaft, like almost like a speedometer cable or whatever, that went from, it kind of bowed out, came out the side of the top shaft on one side of the transmission in the back, and then bowed out at like this angle and came into the top gear on the front transmission, and then it went to the chain, and then it went to the belt.
Okay.
Pretty efficient.
I never had one of the shaft ones. I only had one of the belt ones. So I built one of those in like 87 or 88 as well.
Dang.
Who's got the background music real quick? Is that
It's not
Ruona
me.
or is it?
I got the background music.
Holy Jesus, Jason.
It's not pushed through, Craig.
Jason's at a club right now in Florida there. Anyway, so any of you guys run that car? The four-wheel drive?
I did. I ran the chain drive car.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't really have too much of a memory of it, but I think I ended up getting a Kausha Optima afterwards, and it was short-lived. But yeah, I don't have much memory of it.
So,
I hear it was
Mark,
pretty tricky.
tell us about the stealth transmission you have in your attic. How soon did you have that before anybody else could buy one?
Oh, months.
Do you remember, what was the performance difference when you had the stealth versus the other?
Just, it had a lot more forward drive. The diff lasted longer. There's just so many advantages of it. I mean, it was a true transmission like we have today,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mark, didn't they launch that transmission at the 1990 Nationals in Hobby Haven?
It came in a little box.
Yeah, they had like 40 transmissions available, or some limited number of transmissions available at that Nationals.
Yeah.
And I remember this guy we were racing with, Joe Carter, bought like a ton of, I think ended up with 12 of them or something like that.
Yeah.
And we had them, and it was, whenever if anybody broke anything, they came to us because we had all the parts.
Yep.
I do remember the stealth box. I remember that from back in the day.
Yeah. Came in its own box.
It was light blue, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
That was the original car stand.
Yeah, it's true. That was, I think, one of the biggest steps of that car was that transmission. I mean, that was, like Mark said, that's the exact model transmission that is used today.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And,
how long has that been going on?
Yeah, it was 23 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, somebody was telling me when they got the transmission at that race that it didn't have an instruction manual, but it just came with a bunch of photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow. I'd be screwed.
Yeah, it's just the parts were in the box, and you got a bunch of photos, and then it was like, figure it out.
It was at a national event though. There were so many guys around there that could help you out that it was
Right.
not an issue. You know. But yeah, it was so different than what anybody else was used to that there was, confusion and people building them wrong and not knowing how to adjust the diff. And I think it's you put it in your car and then you tighten it and you had to back it off an eighth of a turn, and people didn't quite understand what an eighth of a turn is. And I mean, you got to make something idiot-proof, and back then a photo was not idiot-proof.
Yeah, it's like how many people probably cut the ears off those T-nuts for the transmission?
Exactly.
Oh, you needed those?
Yeah.
So interesting. When they come out with the stealth transmission again here, it's going to be interesting to see if they just have photos.
Call.
I hope they come out with it so I have another car stand.
Yeah. Be cool to see some of that factory team stuff too, the blue stuff. That was a good idea.
Ah.
The motor plates and all that.
Yeah. You need to make a cab forward body for it.
Yeah. People have already started emailing us about that.
If you make it, I will befriend you on Facebook.
They need to make, if they're going to come out with aftermarket parts, they got to do it in the different colors. Remember the neon colored chassis, the pink and green and orange, and
Oh yeah.
I think they had blue. But they can't change the car. The other cool aspect was the front chassis tubes. We call them the crash tubes, but you could go and you can mill different designs in those. They need to come out with that kind of stuff, but not necessarily performance parts, but just aftermarket parts to customize it, to make it look cool.
Right.
Just all the stuff you wish you had when the car was new.
Exactly.
What they should do is come out with a aftermarket, like a pro kit that's the replica of Jay Halsey's car that they had on display. That would be cool.
Yeah. I thought what Mark was going to say is what they should do is come out with a B5.
I think the
I
next
think they're
line
racing
of
that car at the Worlds in Chico this year. They just didn't want to debut it.
Well, what
What's
they
that?
need to do is they need to get Matt's photo of how he made it mid-motor so they can run it like that in Chico.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I could send them over a sample.
He's like, see, I bent these chassis tabs with my pliers.
I think the next wave of associated cars should go back to gold anno. Personal opinion. That'd be cool. A little throwback.
Did you say A&L?
No, I think the next associated car. Yes, with a Parma body.
Nice.
So I'm interested in hearing about Mark's building the stealth cars for Australia. Did you build Masami's car?
I don't know. I don't think I built his. I think his car always came with a pinion wrench because his pinions always kept falling off. Like, that's kind of what Masaki was known for. Like the pinion gear would always fall off.
Huh.
So Cliff would always send him with a new pinion wrench, like
Oh my
a 050, brand new one, every big race.
That's funny. Oh man.
But yeah, Masami, first one to cut the back off his body. Now no one has backs on the bodies, right?
True.
We used to think that was so stupid too.
Yeah, now we all have them.
Yeah.
I mean, the wing wire was a key thing. When it went in the tubes, you just didn't want it straight. You kind of give it a little kink to where it kind of
Yeah, that's right.
jams in there. That was a tip.
Yeah, you couldn't set it in there because it just falls straight out.
Yeah. Because then halfway through your run, you crash, and then your wings all up in the air because half of the tube is, or the wires hanging out of the tube.
That would be it would be fun to put together a list of pro tips from everybody on things that we used to do to that car, just to make it.
That's what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah. Put the list together. Let's submit it to Associated, and we're all going to take royalties off this pro kit that's coming out.
a Bud's bi-level wing for aftermarket part.
Oh, that was kind of the same thing like we were talking about earlier. If somebody showed up with pink A-arms and then a Bud's bi-level wing, you pretty much knew that you were going to beat them.
And then you needed the, the jump jets by Parma.
Paragon jump jets. Paragon. Those things were rad.
And they made the little tube, the little bottle to drop comm drops in your motor every so often.
Yeah.
That was at the Nationals in Savannah. That's when you go through tech where it was 6L for stock, but JD went through tech with 7L and still got beat down the straightaway.
I remember that.
Good stuff. Hey, we got a question here from Stephen Powell. Do you think we'll end up using servo tape, or will they have servo mounts for this new kit?
Good question.
Sure, they'll have servo mounts. Servo tape was only nobody. I guess a lot of people did that until we came out with cool looking servo mounts. But if you had a servo tape, you'd hit a pipe, and the next time you get on the straightaway, your car'd be all out of trim.
But think of the weight savings.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, rumor is there's only 2,000 kits being produced. Jason, true? Do you know any rumors? Mark?
I don't know. To me, if I was them, I would limit it to the amount that I could sell.
But if they truly had to make a whole new car for that, make all new molds, then why would they limit the production, or why would they put the 2,000? Maybe that's their bottom line number that it would take to get back their cost to build it. I don't know. We need Cliff Led on the phone. Cliff, get on the phone.
Trying to scan through questions here, but threaded rods instead of turnbuckles, that was sent in.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, threaded rods.
Are they going to have threaded rods instead of turnbuckles, or what are they going to do?
That's what
I heard the thing is just like it was when it came out.
Okay, that was from Lewis Church.
With the transparent ball cups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those little tiny things.
All right, well, there. Mark has to go. Mark, did you enjoy my grape Kool-Aid that I made for you guys here at the round table? Nobody said anything about that.
No, I haven't.
Thanks a lot. Well, Mark has to go. Before Mark goes, I think Matt has a few more minutes, but before Mark goes, we have to get you in on this because Joel did it. So Joel's a good sport. And it's going to be another lightsaber battle between... It's going to be a lightsaber battle between Jason Ruona and Mark Pavidis, a.k.a. versus J Concepts. Here's your lightsabers, by the way.
Round two.
I'm going to give red to Pavidis for a.k.a. You got yours there?
Mark's really into this, so...
I just watched they ran it on Spike, was it last week? So I'm getting caught up.
So he's already been practicing.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
There you go. Okay, battle it out, and Mark can go for win. There you go. Battle it out with Rona. Come on, Rona, get him.
I'm fighting Jason.
Concepts.
Oh, good strike.
Oh, Jason, nice. Oh, Jason with the same move. And that is it right there. Oh, Jason with the same move he pulled on Joel Johnson.
Typical move.
It's kind of like the kick on Karate Kid. It's really undefensible.
Sweep the leg.
It is. Each time the tall guy puts their hand on my head, and I just go straight for the knee, cut him straight off.
Same move that you did to Joel. Great. How's your knee, Mark? He sliced it pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, go get some bandage on that, and hopefully you can get back on your bike again.
All right.
Good luck for November.
Hey, Mark, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it.
Go put some miles on that lefty lockout.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Mark.
Okay, guys.
I wonder if Matt should battle it out with the lightsaber. With the
Man, I want my knees. I'm going to just forfeit the win to Jake Concept.
He's tapping out.
Tapping out, exactly.
So, Matt, we look forward to you finding that picture. That would be great.
You know what? I got a couple things to do tonight, but tomorrow or next day, I'll look for it. It could be, I just went. I had a bunch of old RC stuff at my mom's house that I just went and picked up the other day, and I gave it all to my buddy Dave. But I think I have that box of photos there, and if I do, I'll definitely bring it home, and I'll dig through it, and I'll see if I can find it. I think it'd be really cool. I mean, everybody talks about stuff that they did, and how they created things, and all that stuff. But photos are definitely worth 1,000 words, right?
Yeah. That would be.
So let me see if I can find it, and I'll reach out to you guys.
Cool.
That'd be great. Just text it over to me.
Will do. So I'll take a picture on my Apple phone and send it over to you.
Oh God! Send it to my Note 2.
Does your Droid accept an Apple picture? I'm not sure if it does.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You can just wave your hand over and it'll get it.
They are reverse compatible.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it works too good though, because when I text Rona, it takes him like 12 hours to respond.
That has nothing to do with the phone.
Oh.
Yahtzee.
All right, guys.
All right, Matt.
Thanks
for joining. So you're not gonna do the battle with Rona?
Yeah, sure. Battle me.
All right, Rona, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm not going to put my hand on Jason's head.
Oh, he's had all this experience.
And right. Matt Francis definitely gets the red saber, no doubt.
Yes. Thank you.
The show just jumped the shark.
Though red is not a great. It's not winning. So, here we go. All right, Jason, there you go. Fire him up. Two concepts against Matt Francis. Oh man, look at Rhoda. He's swinging like the Batman. Francis, man, he's really. Oh, Francis with the kick and across the blade. Oh.
How'd I do? Did I kill him?
No, I jumped off the top rope and got you around the shoulder.
Oh, damn. I gave it a good battle, so it's all right.
It was a long battle.
You guys have to keep doing this show, so you can't kill off Jason.
No. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I see Rona's bleeding there on top of his left shoulder there, so I guess you got him. You nicked him there with that one move you did where you put your leg on his knee and then you jumped up and came back down on him.
Nice.
That was nice.
I've been practicing that.
Well, we appreciate that, Matt. Thanks. Thanks for being a good sport.
No worries, guys. Hey, all the best. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for coming on. Go Niners. Go
Niners.
Niners.
Go Niners. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. See you.
You bet. Bye now.
Nice. That's a good show.
Rona's got some lightsaber skills.
Been polishing up.
People are going to be like, what the hell? It was fun. That's some good discussion on RC10.
For sure.
I'm on the fence of getting one. Like I told you guys earlier, I'm like, man, I really want to get one because was never able to get the original.
Get one and do a showpiece and do like a classic paint job and just put that sucker up on the shelf.
Yeah.
Do like a Halsey or a Cliff Led or Pavidis paint job, and because Masami's is just way too intricate.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do that. What do you think, Jason? When are you getting yours? Pre-ordered it already?
I pre-ordered it on RC10.com. So as soon as they come in, I guess. I actually already have 3 RC10s at my house that a friend and a racer of ours, Jeff Harris, kind of restored for me. So I'll send you that picture later.
Yeah,
actually, I got to do it tomorrow because I'll send
cool.
you the 2 cars. They don't have electrical or wheels or tires on them, but full running chassis. They're cool looking.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Still fun to look at old photos. That's always, I don't know. It's cool. Just going back in time.
Well, I'm really interested in this car from the standpoint of I want people to see what it was all about, look at the design details of this car, and so people can kind of respect. The reason that people do make a big deal out of Associated is because of that car, and I think when they look down the line and realize what Roger was kind of doing there with that car, that he was kind of ahead of his time there a little bit, and it worked out really well for him and Associated, and that's what I'm interested to see people with. And then from the standpoint of, I hope people race it, and maybe it'll spark some interest of the old guys that got out of it, and they just kind of want to reflect on the old days, and maybe we'll see some more racers, and maybe they'll get hooked on it again. That's what I'm hoping for.
Now, do you think we'll see Losi follow suit?
I don't see it happening. Maybe I could see Kyosho maybe trying to do something, but they never really had as iconic of a car as the RC10. I mean, even the car that Joel, when we were talking to Joel, he won that Worlds with, is the actual car. I saw pictures of that car that he won the race with. It's nothing like the car that they sold. So it's like the car that he won the race with had like a flat chassis, carbon chassis with suspension bolted to it, and the car that came out with had like aluminum rail chassis, and it was like not even close to the same looking kind of car.
Right.
From what I remember. So it's like, what car would they show, or what car would they release? What I see happening is, I could see Associated, I don't know anything. I haven't been told anything, but what I could see happening is them releasing that car and then them releasing parts that they made for that car sort of chronologically in the order that they released them before. So it's like, first you have an RC10, then, a little ways down the road, they released the wider front arms, the other shock tower, a longer front shock, and then a little ways down the road, then they released the stealth transmission, and and people can kind of relive those days of getting those parts and still having, just kind of updating their shelf clean or making multiple versions, or maybe there'll be that RC10 class that takes off in racing, and we're all playing with RC10s and updating with old parts. So I don't know. That's
Very interesting.
I kind of hope to see that. Just because I want to see more racers, more entries, some old guys come back and play, and maybe some new guys get hooked. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Real quick, do they have a release date on this yet? Time frame on this?
I think it just says summer 2013. So.
Okay. All right.
I was hoping like late July, because we were going to try to incorporate that class into our Supercut series, have a RC10 class, which starts in August. So I was hoping it would be like a July release, but all I see is summer 2013, so I guess that could be as late as the end of August.
All right, well, hey, I'll get mine pre-ordered because I look forward to building it and just putting it on the shelf here.
Cool.
We should also mention Roger Curtis was introduced into the RC Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So right around the same time as the announcement. So pretty cool. Yeah, real cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty convenient timing, and I've had actually the privilege of working with Roger a little bit at Associated, as well as, Mark was just on the show. Mark's worked with him a bunch, and actually Mark worked for him at Associated, and I guess I technically did too. And Matt Francis raced for him. So Roger's the guy that doesn't talk a lot, but he's obviously the big brains behind that original side of Associated, and that's what RC stands for, and RC10 is Roger Curtis 10. And obviously took some chances there. There's a little breakdown of his Hall of Fame thing on the Associated website. Kind of breaks down Roger's career and what he did before RC, and he used to travel with us to the Worlds, and go to all.
Was
he
it
never.
Rod?
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, he didn't normally go to like the Nationals or the Norca Nationals to travel with the team, but he always traveled with us to the Worlds in the old days, and Cliff Lett called him the secret weapon, which was anytime they got into a crunch, an engineering problem, Roger was always the new perspective, the guy that got him out of a crunch. And so, he would always come to the Worlds and offer his opinions and try to help the team win. And it was definitely cool to be a part of and kind of being around those guys.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. You mentioned the Nationals. Was he at the '96 Nats? So I thought he was, but
no. Gene was there. Gene Husting was there.
Right. Okay. Maybe I met him in Chicago. Could have swore I met Roger. But
that could be.
All right. Well, there you have it. That was a great show with Matt Francis, Mark Pavidis. A little scheduling conflict with Kinwall, so we weren't able to get him on. But Brian will join us.
We had a guest that we didn't expect to come on for a little bit, and that was Joel Johnson, who battled the RC10 back in the day. Neat little RC10 history show, pretty much.
Yeah, the Joel Johnson input, the Mark Pavidis and Matt Francis, obviously the guys all those guys are world champion. Joel's one of the rare guys that's won an on-road and an off-road world. Mark's won an 8-scale buggy and 10-scale buggy, and Matt Francis won 2-wheel drive twice. So I guess I'm the Charles Barkley of that crew.
Oh.
I like it. All right. Well, we're going to close it out because the show's getting a little long. So any shout-outs there? We got
jconcepts.net. They're a big thing.
I don't
know.
I think for me, thanking everybody for listening and, putting up with us and all the fun stuff we do, and obviously thanking Mark and, even AKA, Mark and Joel and those guys and everybody that is willing to come on, and Matt Francis, who doesn't have to do it at all, but you can still see he's got that, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to RC, so it's nice to hear.
Yeah, I thank those guys a lot. I mean, as soon as I got a hold of them, it's like no problem. So
awesome.
So jconcepts.net, teamgravityrc.com, and p1brand.com, who's doing a little contest where they want to give a shirt away on every show. Yep. So I'm just going to play a soundbite from a video game, and first one to email me at radioimpound@gmail.com gets the t-shirt, and this one's going to be tough.
One guess, though.
So,
you can't guess 50 different games. Just one guess per email.
Yeah, don't send me an email with 50 games in it. No. I may have to find a different way to give these away. Maybe throw all the correct answers into a hat and pull one out. Maybe that might be fair. I don't know. Because I got some criticism on taking only the first email.
Hey, that's how these other contests I listen to, other podcast contests go. Right. Go ahead.
Here's it real quick because everybody's got to go. There you have it. Okay, that's your get. RadioImpound@gmail.com. Send me the answer to that sound drop, and you'll win a P1 brand T-shirt.
Oh,
courtesy of P1brand.com.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Rip Nation. Keep it classy.